Hello everyone, welcome to today's tutorial. Today we're going to be looking at how to crochet this traditional granny square. We're going to start with a 4 chain ring and then work rounds 1 through to 4. In the traditional granny square we work 3 chain corners and 1 chain sides. So let's begin. So start with a slip knot on your hook and chain 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Then slip stitch in the first chain you made, going into that bottom loop. Just tuck the tail end of the yarn behind the hook and then yarn over and pull through both loops on your hook to close the ring. We'll be working our granny square round 1 into the ring just there. To begin, chain 3. 1, 2, 3. The chain 3 are going to count as your first stitch, and we'll be using US terminology, so this will be a double crochet. In UK terms, these are known as trebles. So go ahead, work 2 double crochets after the chain 3 to give you a set of 3 stitches. Next, chain 3. That will complete your first corner. Then work another set of 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Chain 3 for your next corner. Then work another set of 3 double crochets into the ring. Chain 3 for your third corner and work your final set of 3 double crochets into the ring to complete your final side of your square for round 1. I'll just repeat that last stitch because I missed the yarn over. There we go. And then chain 3 for your final corner. Tuck the tail end to the back. Find the third of your building chains. Insert your hook and slip stitch by bringing that yarn through and through the loop on your hook. And that completes round 1. This is how it's looking. So you have 4 sets of 3 stitches and 4 corners. For round 2, we need to slip stitch across to the next corner. Slip stitch under the top 2 loops of your next stitch. And also under the top 2 loops of your next stitch. And then slip stitch into your corner. Chain 3 and work 2 double crochets into the corner. And of course, if you're using UK terminology, these are trebles. You might need to just nudge those stitches across to the side. Next, chain 3, 1, 2, 3. This is how it's looking. And you're going to create the second half of your corner now by working another set of 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. In the traditional way of working the granny square, we do a chain between the sets of stitches down the side. In the corner, we're going to now work a set of 3 double crochets, three chains, 1, 2, 3, and just rotate your work round to make it easier, and work the second half of your corner with 3 double crochets into that space. Chain 1, and then in the next space, the next corner, work another set of 3 double crochets, and chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Rotate your work and work another 3 double crochets, all into the corner. Chain 1 and work another 3 double crochets into your next corner, chain 3 and work another 3 double crochets into the same corner. That gives you 2 sets of 3 double crochets in each corner. Chain 1, and we're now ready to close round 2 by working a slip stitch in the third of our building chains. And that completes round 2 of our granny square. For round 3, we're once again going to slip stitch across to the next corner. So slip stitch in the top 2 loops or under the top 2 loops of your next stitch, slip stitch under the top 2 loops of the next stitch, and slip stitch in the next corner. Next, chain 3 to bring the work up to the right height, and work 2 double crochets to complete the first half of your corner. Chain 3, work the second half of your corner, and work 3 double crochets. 1, 2, I'll just get some more yarn, and then your third double crochet. Now, as we're working down the side, if you look carefully, you can see we've worked into a corner, but we now have actually a side space here where we're going to work another set of 3 double crochets. So we chain 1, work our next set of 3 double crochets into that space, and we chain 1 again before we do our next corner. So we'll just recap. You started off with your chain 3 and 2 double crochets for the first half of your corner. Then we did a chain 3 and then 3 more double crochets to complete the corner. Chain 1 and then 3 double crochets in the next space, and then a chain 1. And now we're going to complete our next corner by working 3 more double crochets into the corner, and chain 3. Rotate your work slightly and complete your corner by working another 3 double crochets into the same corner. Chain 1, and in the next space down the side, work 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, chain 1, and then in the corner work 3 double crochets, 1, 2 and 3, and chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Turn and work, well, I should say rotate your work, and then work another 3 double crochets and a chain 1, and then work another set of 3 double crochets in the next space down the side, chain 1, and work a set of 3 double crochets into the corner, followed by chain 3 and rotating your work, complete your corner with another set of 3 double crochets and chain 1, then work a set of 3 double crochets in the next space down the side, and chain 1. Find the third of your building chains where you started, insert your hook. If you look carefully, you just go under the left side, and that should mean we end up by going under 2 strands of yarn, and slip stitch to close. And that completes round 3 of your granny square. So just have a look. You can see you've completed a stitch in spaces down the sides as well as in the corners. So in each corner you always have 2 sets of your double crochets with your 3 chains between, but on the sides on round 3 you just have 1 set of 3 double crochets with 1 chain either side. Okay, so now we'll move on to round 4. Once again, before we start round 4, we need to slip stitch across to this corner. So we work a slip stitch under the top 2 loops of the next stitch, and also under the top 2 loops of the next stitch, and again into the corner. Then we chain 3, 1, 2, 3. I'll just unravel some more yarn. And just in case you can hear the wind, we have quite a nasty storm here today in the UK, so hope the wind noise isn't distracting you too much. Right, so we're going to complete our first set of double crochets by working another 2 double crochets in our first corner of round 4, and then we chain 3, 1, 2, 3, rotate our work, complete the second half of the corner by working 3 double crochets again into the corner, into the same corner, 2 and 3. And of course we need to do a chain 1 before we work a set of double crochets into the next space. On round 4 we have 2 spaces down the sides that we need to pop a set of double crochets into. And between these sets we must always do our chain 1. This is just for the traditional method. For other methods, a lot of the times we skip the chain 1. So there we go. This is how it's looking. So we do a chain 1, then our next corner, 3 double crochets, and 3 chains and turn, or I should say not turn, we rotate our work and work another 3 double crochets into the corner. Now we work down the side again. We've got our 2 spaces here, so we chain 1, skip over these double crochets and straight into that space work another 3 double crochets, a chain 1 and 3 double crochets into our next space, chain 1 and work our next corner. Once again, 3 double crochets, a chain 3, 1, 2, 3, rotate and 3 double crochets, 1, 2 and 3, a chain 1 and once again 3 double crochets into each of these following spaces, chain 1 and your next set of 3 double crochets, 1, 2 and 3, chain 1, we're at your corner, or we're at the next corner, so we do another 3 double crochets, chain 3, rotate and work another 3 double crochets, 1, 2 and 3, chain 1 and once again work down the side. Need to pop a set of 3 double crochets into the next space, 2 and 3, a chain 1 and another set of 3 double crochets into the next space, chain 1 and slip stitch in the 3rd of the building chains to close. So that completes round 4, the final round of our traditional granny square. You can fasten off however you wish. I like to fasten off by just snipping the yarn and then pulling the yarn through like so, then thread the yarn onto a yarn needle and then I skip over the next double crochet and go under the top 2 loops of the next double crochet like so, and then I just come back to the stitch where we started and go straight through and under that back loop, if I can, just bring the yarn down gently, and then I tend to just weave in. I just see if I can focus a little bit better for you. I tend to weave in down the chain, the length of chains, not pulling too tightly, just working my way down to these more compact stitches down here. And then just hide the yarn under there and come back. I don't just go straight back in or it could unravel. I might just split the yarn slightly. And then come back. Oh, sorry about the focus. And go through one final time. And then snip the yarn as close to the work as you can, and that gives you a nice invisible join at the end. And then, because we've crocheted over the tail end, if you haven't, don't worry, just weave in it however you like. You can actually find which way this tail end is going. It's coming out here, so we could actually pull that and it will close up the center if you wish. And then I just once again will thread my yarn needle and I'll follow the same direction to start off. Give it a little tug. Just go underneath once more, just a few more stitches, then come back, skip over that first one and just tuck it away in there, and then one final time and once again just snip the yarn. So there we are, we've completed our traditional granny square, 4 rounds with our 3 chain corners and 1 chain spaces down each side. So the next method I'll show you will be very similar to this, just slightly different. I've just had a thought that in my next video I will be showing you 3 different ways that you can make the granny squares that look just like this, but there's a slightly different technique to how you finish off the rounds. And if I just show you here the method that's almost identical to the one we've just done now, it's this one here. As you can see, it's considerably smaller. If I just zoom out a little bit, there we go, than this one. And the reason for that is, rather than working 3 chains in the corners, we just work 2 chains, and we don't put a chain between the sets of double crochets down the sides, and that gives you a more compact granny square. So it's really basically just what you prefer, the look you prefer. I actually do prefer the more compact granny square, but it really is a personal choice. Right, so I look forward to seeing you on the next video when we'll look at 3 different methods, and we'll possibly look at how to change colours and also how to turn your work to get another slightly different texture to your work, but that also helps to prevent your squares distorting the more rounds you do. Right, so I'd just like to thank you all for watching, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. In the meantime, take care.